All right, one more thing to review is how to take a quadratic that's written in vertex form, where the vertex is given, and convert it to standard form with the a, the b, and the c. So this is going to look familiar, I think. So here's a vertex, or I'm sorry, a quadratic that opens up. It's in vertex form. The function is f of x equals x minus 5 squared, and then minus 1. So remembering your vertex rules, that means the vertex is at 5, comma, negative 1, because a positive 5 would go into this. 5 minus 5 is 0, and that would zero this whole bit out. So the vertex would go from 0, 0 to 5, 0, and then move down 1 unit. So I'll just make the vertex here and label it v. And then I'm going to make a parabola by going over 1 and up 1, and I go over 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that's good enough, because I just want to have the basics, and I need to identify the zeros. So see the zeros? The zeros are at x equals 4 and x equals 6. Okay, so that's good to know. But now I need to actually convert that function to standard form. X minus 5 squared minus 1. Remember that. X minus 5 squared, we did this before, you just actually have to multiply that out. X minus 5 times x minus 5. That's x minus 5 squared. That's this part is here. But then I have that minus 1 at the end that I need to keep track of, so that comes down here as well. This is where FOIL comes in again. First, x times x is x squared. Outside is this negative 5 times this x, so minus 5x. Inside is this negative 5 times this x. That's minus 5x. Last is negative 5 times negative 5, which is positive 25. Multiplied out x minus 5 squared, and then I have the minus 1 on the end. Now I'll just combine like terms. That's negative 10, and that's positive 24. So in standard form, this should be x squared minus 10x plus 24. And that means that the a term is 1, because it's 1x squared. The b term is negative 10, because it's minus 10x. And the c term is positive 24, because it says plus 24. Now to convert to factored form, we've done this before, but we're thinking of numbers that multiply to 24, but also add to negative 10. So a little bit of inspection thing. I think 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 plus 4 is 10. But I need them to add to negative 10, which means that we would use negative 6 and negative 4. And lo and behold, that tells me that the zeros are at 6 and 4, which match my graph. So all's well that ends well. So now we've gone from vertex form to standard form to factored form. Okay, that's what we did there. Now what if it opens down? It's a little bit trickier. But so this opens down because it's negative, and then x plus 4 squared plus 9. The vertex is at negative 4, positive 9, because the negative 4 would go into this and make this part a 0. So I'm going to go to negative 4 and then up 3, 6, to positive 9, and I'll label that vertex. Excuse me, kids, I'm making a video.
We're done.
Okay, and then I'm going to make the rest of the parabola like this. And here is what it looks like. And now I can see the zeros. They're at x equals negative 7, and that one's at x equals negative 1, here and here. Okay, so now I know the zeros. I've graphed it. Now, converting it to standard form is a little bit trickier because of that negative symbol. But let's take our time and just keep track of it. I'm still going to do x plus 4 squared. I just have that negative symbol out in front. So it's x plus 4 times x plus 4, and then minus 9. This negative symbol has nothing to do with this negative 9. It's only the x plus 4 squared. So I'm going to keep track of that. Okay, so I have a negative symbol, and now I do FOIL. So first, x squared plus outside plus 4x, inside is 4x, and then the last term is 16, and then minus 9. This is 8x. So I'm going to now multiply this in before I can combine with the negative 9. I get negative x squared. This is positive 8x, but I'm going to multiply it by a negative, so it becomes negative 8x, and then minus 16, and then from the minus 16, I have, oops, this is a plus 9 this whole time, sorry. I have a plus 9. And negative 16 plus 9 is negative 7. Okay, so this is the equation in standard form. Negative x squared minus 8x minus 7. And the a term is negative 1, the b term is negative 8, and the c term is negative 7. Now finally, to convert this to factored form, I have to take care of that negative sign in front of the x squared again. I have to refactor it out. All right, so that means I write a negative, and then in parentheses, I divide each of these terms by negative 1. Positive x squared, positive 8x, positive 7. And now finally, I need numbers that multiply to equal 7, but add to equal 8. That's 7 times 1. So I get x plus 7 times x plus 1 for factored form, and lo and behold, just like we wanted, negative 7 and negative 1 are the zeros. So now try those and do the exit ticket, and happy Wednesday.